Merry Christmas all. On the bench today is a police force MPU board, and let me go through what I've done to this board. I replaced the two capacitors over here. These are 10 microfarads in the sound section, 3 power input filter caps, 512 and -12, maybe not in that order, and a 22 microfarad cap that's in the reset section. The board came in with a U25 RAM error, so there was a 6116 installed here. I have replaced it with a 6264, and of course you have to move the jumper from W5 to W6 when you do that. I always install a 6264 when I can, or that's when the board provides the solder pads for the, 28-pin chip. The main problem with this board, as reported, was this section, the special solenoid section. And this is a board that could really benefit from Victor's SSD, OST board that hangs off of the connector input here, and it detects when a switch is stuck, and it'll prevent the special solenoid from locking on. So I rebuilt the through holes for each of these 3 tip 102s with through-hole repair rivets, and I've used some jumper wires, you can see one right here, to connect them back up to their 2N4401s. These are all new parts in here. I tested all these ZRs. These things are 6.8 volt, I think, Zener diodes that Williams put in there, thinking that if there was an overvoltage on the switch circuit, it would shunt that overvoltage to ground. In practice, those things don't do anything, really, I don't think. Somebody has done a nasty job of replacing this 7402 in the past. It works, so I'm going to leave it. But now, as I was testing this, came up with a fault on solenoid 9, which is Q17, and so I'm going to take this opportunity to show you how to test a tip 102 for whether or not it's shorted. So I've got my meter, I've got a Fluke 179. Your mileage may vary, I just like the Fluke 179s. So I've got it set to diode check with this symbol on the left. I have my black probe touching the tab of the transistor in question, and we probe the flanking legs. I've got a reading of 0.588, that is perfectly valid. And on the other leg, I have a short. So this transistor is shorted, and that's consistent with what I found when I was testing. Now let me test a transistor that is not shorted, and you get about 588. And again, that can be anywhere from 0.450 to 0.7. And then on the other side, the same thing. I get 566 on this one. So this transistor is just fine. This one's going to have to come out. Be right back. And we are back, and I have successfully replaced Q16. You can see that solenoid 9 is no longer locked on. We do have a couple of solenoid circuits that are on. Solenoid 12 is the AC select relay.
Yeah, see, take this.
And I don't know what 16 is, but we'll find out when we get into test. So here we go. That's because we are not in an actual police force. Nice. Police force is a, like Taxi has a bonus display. And on this super nice universal test panel that Victor made, you can see the bonus display appears down here. And well, it's called a jackpot display, and I have that selected. So I think that's enough display test. Boy, you can really hear the System 11 howl.
Police, help!
Boy, that sounded just like whirlwind for a little while there. Lamp test. Single lamp test. Next test is coil test, I believe. You can see that solenoid 16 has been extinguished. I'll take a look at that on the display when it comes around. I want to make sure solenoid 9 is working. Yep. 14, 15, 16 is the car up, down. So that is a directional driver. And now we're testing the switch inputs to the special solenoid section. This board, since I've taken quite some time to repair this, I'd really like to see the client get a hold of one of Victor's OST, the one-shot trigger package that connects here, intercepts the signals that come into the special solenoids and will refuse to pass along a signal from a stuck switch and prevent then the destruction of any of those special solenoid transistors and the PCB underneath it. Next test, switch edges. I'm going in reverse diagonal order just because I'm not a guitar player and it's easier for me to move my fingers like that. The C side, A side select test is seeing if this relay, the blue relay, is working correctly. In the game, that would be the AC select relay, which is on the AUX power board. And whoops. And that is it. I'm going to quickly scroll through the audits and adjustments. I've already set the game to free play. It's going to tell me there's a pinball missing. Of course there is. I'm not in a real game. I was searching around for it a little bit down here, but this CPU board is good to go. And I thank you so much for sending it. Again, have a great Christmas season, everybody.